I'm 22 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. I've never been asked on a date. I've never had my first kiss. Like, no one's ever been romantically interested in me before.
It's not by choice. When I was younger, I was like, oh, it's because I'm fat. Oh, it's because I'm fat. Once I lose weight, I'll have no problem. What is the reason?
I'm almost 30, never had a boyfriend, and I want one. Having had a boyfriend and no prospects of it genuinely terrifies me. I don't want to be alone.
So I've been seeing this trend online where women in their 20s or even 30s are sharing that they have never had a boyfriend. And I cannot determine whether these women are sad about this or if they feel like it is some type of flex. Please make sure you're subscribed as we figure this out.
I'm 32 and I've never had a boyfriend, and I can say this as of yesterday officially because it was my birthday. Common question I get when I mention never having a boyfriend is why. I'm gonna lay out a certain scenario that literally explains why being a single person in today's society has become beyond difficult and has us all losing hope every single day. So I'm standing at the—
You know, I really wish that she would begin to just describe what it even means to have a boyfriend. To me, if somebody says, okay, hi, very directly, would you be my girlfriend? And then you say yes, then you are boyfriend and girlfriend. Or in her saying that she's never had a boyfriend, does that mean that she's never gone on dates? Like she's never gone out with a guy? I just wish that she would specify what it means to never have a boyfriend, because I just don't understand how that is possible. Don't people usually get their first boyfriend or girlfriend when they're in elementary or middle school and they're just joking around because they don't really even know what it means, and that's when you have your first boyfriend or girlfriend? I just don't understand how somebody could never have ever had a boyfriend. You know, I think that they are lying, but let's hear her reasons why.
Bar with my two friends, and I'm trying to take a selfie of us in 0.5 literally on my iPhone. This guy sees us taking the selfie and he's like, oh, like, do you want me to just take your picture? Yeah, sure. So he takes our picture, and then like he's there with a bachelor party, so he gives the phone to his friend and they're like, can you take our picture? So I'm like taking their picture, and then the guy starts talking to us and he's like, well, why are you guys here? And I was like, oh, we're just doing like a little girls trip. My birthday's tomorrow. And he's like, okay, we need shots. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll do a shot. He asks what we want. We tell him. He's like, I'm gonna run to the bar really quick, and you know, it's a busy bar. He's like, I'll probably be back in like 30 minutes. We were already like standing in that spot and it was like a good spot. And we're like, yeah, like we'll be here. We're not moving. Eventually we look up, we see he gets a beer for himself. He chugs it. He walks out the back door and just drops the beer in the trash can. But this just speaks to my point as to why being single can be so difficult right now. Like guys will literally say things and they do not have any intention behind their word. I turned 32, okay? I have been going to bars pretty consistently since the day I turned 21.
Oh my gosh.
We're looking at over a decade, and never in my life have I had a guy offer to buy me a drink, walk up to the bar.
Okay, I'm gonna let her finish. I just have to say that she's telling us all of the details about how he walked away and then he came back and then he was drinking the beer, and it was so weird because we were standing there, and it's like all of the details simply don't matter. All that matters is the major fact that you were at the bar and you have been going to the bar since you're 21, and that hasn't been working since you're 21, and yet 10 years later you're still doing the same exact thing. If something's not working, then maybe at some point wouldn't you think, hey, I shouldn't be doing this anymore? And if something is working, then you keep doing that, you know? It's just she hasn't tried enough things to figure out what is working. And also it seems like she is the type of person who maybe listened to the lyrics on repeat that the club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends at the table doing shots. That's literally what she was doing. And she's like, nobody buys me shots. Whatever, I'm gonna let it go. The older I get, the more shocked that I become that some adults act like children, still acting like she's 21. This person could potentially turn 55, still go to the same bar, still have the same problems, still act like a teenager and be like, what is wrong? I don't know. Maybe write it down. Maybe draw some lines.
And then just disappear. I didn't approach the guy. We didn't approach the guy. We didn't ask the guy to buy us shots. The guy asked why we were there. I said my birthday. I don't expect you to do anything. I didn't even need you to take our picture. Like, I love a good 0.5 selfie. On top of it, like after you tell a girl on her birthday you're gonna get her a drink, you walk away. Like, it wasn't even a regular day. Like, you did that on my birthday. Why am I single?
Who cares?
Because
so if you really think that you were going to get special treatment at a bar because it was your birthday, I don't know what to tell you. And if you're going to try again next year, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Next up, we have a 27-year-old who's never had a boyfriend. Let's see what her situation is.
This girl at work said something to me the other day, and I like can't get it out of my head. Heard a baby around her. I was like, oh God, that's free birth control for me. And she's like, oh, that makes me think of my little baby. And I was like, yeah, I'm too selfish. I don't want kids. Like, I have a dog. That's enough for me. A couple days later, she's like, so you don't want kids, but you have a dog. Do you have like a boyfriend or anything? And I was like, no, I've never had a boyfriend. She was like, how old are you? And I said, 27. She's like, and you've never had a boyfriend? And I like never really cared. But there's something about her like saying that really hit me this time, because like I've never been on even like 2 dates with the same person. Like even guys I've talked to or like hooked up with, they'll slowly stop talking to me, and then I find out they have a girlfriend or they get into a new relationship like a week later. And like when I was younger and I didn't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, I'd be like, it's because I'm fat. I used to weigh like 320 pounds. I lost 160 pounds. It's not like I'm being hit up every day, every week, even every month with like
300 pounds? That's that's a lot. This person had an insane weight transformation. That is a huge win in of itself. Like, wow, that's actually incredibly inspirational. The reason why I was rolling my eyes as soon as she began talking is because she said that a girl said something to her at work and she just couldn't get it out of her head. And to me, that sounds like a problem, because what I heard a quote one time that I really liked, and that was, what other people think of you is their own issue, pretty much. Like, we cannot determine or paint the perfect picture for how other people are going to see us. If they want to see certain things in us, that is their issue. And like, we can't change that. I mean, and if you try, it's just going to be stressful on us, because it's trying to get that other person to change, but we can only really change ourselves. And so in doing that, we had to be like, okay, well, that person said that, but I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to let it affect me. But instead, she's replaying it in her head and kind of overthinking it. And I know that that can be hard. I don't know, but if you have enough confidence in yourself, you're not going to be letting other people's opinion of you affect how you see yourself. And so she could have just let it go, but now that she's talking about it, she's just kind of making the problem bigger. And now the rest of the world is also discussing this. So interesting.
People in my DMs or like messaging me on Snapchat trying to get with me. It's like no one hits me up. It's not even like I'm being selective with who I'm picking and like turning people away. It's just like people aren't coming up to me, and I don't understand. Not like I have an issue with people like wanting to hook up with me, but if it tries to go a step further, they're like, absolutely not, no. I don't want to just like hook up with random people that I don't know, so I'll tell people that I don't want to hook up with them until I know them, and then they're like, well, you're a prude. I'm like, I literally can't win. Why it's like hitting me so hard this time is the fact that she had the audacity to ask, by choice? And I just sit there and I'm like, no, it's not by choice. When I was younger, I was like, oh, it's because I'm fat. Oh, it's because I'm fat. Once I lose weight, I'll have no problem. And now that I'm like not fat, I'm just like, what is it? What is the reason?
To me, it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with this girl besides the fact that she keeps questioning if there is something wrong with her. I'm no dating expert, but I just wouldn't take it personally, because in our society, people don't really talk to each other as much as we used to, especially after COVID. Everything has completely changed, and we have way less frequent social interactions, and basically everything we do is on social media. So it's incredibly hard not only to date, but to meet people, having friends, and just relationships. It's not the same as it used to be. And so I just wouldn't take it so personally and be like, what's wrong with me? It's just kind of, I don't know, it's just sometimes things just are the way they are, you know? The last girl definitely was really sad about never having had a boyfriend. Let's see if this girl is sad or she thinks that it's a flex.
I am almost 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. And I am embarrassed about that. I actually truly am embarrassed about that.
I'm so embarrassed that I'm gonna make a video about it and tell everybody. That's how embarrassed I am about this.
In shock, I'm even admitting it on the internet right now.
I'm
30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. I don't even think there's ever been a man in my life who's been interested in me beyond just my body.
Wait, it's just funny because wouldn't posting a video like this not really help your situation? Because then a future potential boyfriend could see it and then be like, oh, that's so cringe or whatever.
100%. And that has developed into some deep-rooted insecurities. I have never even had a man have a crush on me.
How do you know?
Ever.
How do you know that?
I didn't have a Valentine growing up. I didn't have any of that.
What do you mean you didn't have a Valentine? Everybody had a Valentine. It was literally, you had to pass out a card to everybody in class. I remember one time we just got one of those boxes at Walmart that has a bunch of different cards in them, and I passed them out. And then I remember a guy getting one card that had just the most bizarre quote on it. And I was so embarrassed by it, and I didn't do it on purpose. It's like, what do you mean you've never had, or nobody's ever had a crush on you? These things just happen. I just feel like they don't have an eye for it. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I just have too much of an eye for it. I would even go as far to bet that at least somebody watching this video has somewhat of a crush on this girl. There's just no way around it, right?
Didn't even have my first kiss until I was 22 years old. And it was the same night I lost my virginity. Was the day I had my first real kiss.
Okay. You cannot tell me that you're so embarrassed, you're so ashamed about this, and then go and spill it all online. I'm not buying it. This is some type of flaunt, okay?
Where someone actually kissed me. I had a kiss in a truth or dare game one time when I was 17 years old, and it was that. But I'm talking a real kiss.
What is a real kiss? You had a real kiss when you were 17. Celebrate. I don't know. Don't celebrate. I don't know.
Never having had a boyfriend and no prospects of it genuinely terrifies me. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to live alone. I enjoy being single, but it is not how I want to spend the rest of my life. I want a boyfriend and I want a family. And I think sometimes I feel like women who are single and are happy to be single, like I don't think there's anything wrong with being single. I'm fine with being single right now. I just don't want to be single forever. And I feel like we're not allowed to ever say that, you know? Like, I am single now, but I don't want to be single forever. I'm happy where I am now, but I don't want to stay here forever. And I feel like we're not allowed to say that. So I'm saying it. I'm almost 30, never had a boyfriend, and I want one. Speak it into existence, I guess.
Any takers? All right, guys, if we have any takers, this girl's TikTok handle is Michaela Amanda. She is looking for a family. She seems like a great girl. She is honest, transparent, very outspoken. So get yourself a Michaela Amanda. I personally am having a hard time believing these girls. 31 and never had a boyfriend. That is just such a lie. It's just such a lie.
31. I've never had a boyfriend. I still live at home with my parents, and I used to be so embarrassed, so ashamed, and just totally felt like something was completely wrong with me. Like, why am I one of the only people that struggle with this? But over the year, I have realized that I'm not alone. And what I've done to make myself feel better about this is I've changed my mindset around being single, around not having a boyfriend yet, around still living at home with my parents at the age of 31, and instead of feeling sorry for myself and pitying myself, which is what I've done a lot in the past, I instead have changed my mindset to be like, things will happen when they're meant to happen, and I have not met my right person yet because I'm not ready for him.
I think that her response and take on the situation was one of the best ones that I have seen yet, because it's like, it's not going to be this way always. And usually when you hear people using the word never or forever, it's very likely that it's being exaggerated. This girl says, I'm 21 years old. I've never truly experienced the feeling of being in love. I've never had a boyfriend in my entire life. I've never had our song. Our song is a slam screen door. Holding hands out in public. The feeling of taking him home to meet your family for the first time, meeting his family for the first time, being surprised with flowers. Basically, she's saying, I've never been a Hollywood actress before. And so I've never experienced all of this stuff that I see in movies. I wonder what is happening, maybe because it's not real. I heard a quote one time that said, the best love stories are never told. My mom said, you're really pretty. I don't understand why boys don't like you. Have you ever got hit on? No, Mom, I haven't. I'm just a 20-year-old girl. I don't know why I'm not enough. This is like giant call, like with a megaphone, like, I want attention. I guess everybody wants attention though. Attention is the new currency. So the next time you go buy eggs, just translate $1 to 10 people's 1 minute views, right? Maybe not on TikTok though. YouTube for the win. I'm 31 and I've never had a boyfriend. And then she plays a song by Drake. I was running through the 6 with my woes. Again, I guess this is just another person saying, I go to the club a lot, I like Drake, and can't find true love. Something is off. Now, maybe I'm just a hater and I drank too much haterade before this video. The reason why I say sometimes it seems like they are trying to make a flex out of it is because I think about people like Sophie Rain who do OF content, and then they make their whole thing like, oh, I'm so innocent, or I've never been with anyone kind of thing. And then that in of itself is supposed to attract guys. And so it seems like they're kind of using this topic to try to attract guys. And so it seems a little bit hypocritical. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater.
Girls who have never had boyfriends, of course, whenever someone likes us, we're gonna get the ick because we can't imagine someone actually liking us. Don't you have other options? Gross. We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, we've had 37 situationships. And no, we're never gonna stop talking about them. Ever. We're girls who have never had boyfriends. Of course, whenever someone asks us when our last relationship was, we're having an internal...
you know that this girl is lonely because she had to do the trend by herself. Usually this is a trend that people do when they're walking next to each other and they're having a conversation. But you know that our society is lonely when they're doing a 2-person TikTok trend alone. So... maybe they just actually are really sad about never having had a boyfriend. This girl looks sad.
I'm 22 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. I've never been asked on a date. I've never had my first kiss. Like, no one's ever been romantically interested in me before, which is really sad because literally all I want in my life is love. I want love. Like, romantic love, you know? Like, that is like such a dream, and I love looking at people on TikTok and they're a cute couple, you know, whatever. But then I also get super sad because I'm like, will that even happen for me? Like, I know I'm 22 and I'm young, but I never even had like a boyfriend in high school.
Will that ever happen? She's like, I love looking at people on TikTok. Will that ever happen for me? Will I ever have a relationship like the people on TikTok? Maybe the people on TikTok don't really have the relationship that they show on TikTok in real life, you know? That's kind of bizarre. It'd be like saying, looking at somebody's morning routine video and being like, I hope my mornings will look like that one day. But even for those people, they usually don't look like that. They're not as aesthetic and the camera's not set up in the perfect angle and the lighting is just great. I mean, no.
When everyone else around me was dating, so. But you know, if God wants to send me someone, you know, just to test the waters on like, is she ready to date? I would appreciate it because I want to know if I'm ready to date. I don't know how to act around guys that I think are cute, you know? Like, I literally start laughing and I can't stop. I look psychotic, so I need help. So if God wants to send me like a guy, I would appreciate it. And if you're in the same boat as me, I'm sorry you are, but I'm glad you're here. I think we'll find love someday. I think the perfect person will be sent to us. But you know, it also kind of sucks because, like, of course, like, I want love and all those things. It just makes you feel like steps behind people, out of the loop almost. Like, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't people interested in me? Am I ugly? Am I too chubby? You know, like, those sort of things. Is my personality too much? And it just makes me, like, overthink those things, and then it makes me hate myself. So... I don't really know where this rant came from. I just want love.
I guess all of these I'm single videos really are just confessions about their insecurities and things going on in their life. It sounds like it's very common for them to have situationships. So honestly, that sounds like they are in a relationship because it ends with a ship. And so they're on the same boat, you know, and if like you both are on the same boat, then I guess you could be considered like boyfriend and girlfriend, you know? It's like those people up in space, they were there for so long, like at this point they're like married, you know? They've gone through so much together, woke up every morning like, I don't know, it's like serious. I am not a marriage counselor, I'm not a dating coach, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just find this kind of stuff very, very funny and interesting. And so if you do too, please make sure that you're subscribed so you can see more videos with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.